more like bunches, but they sell a lot of flowers, and they're very long stemmed. Um, I've been told from other people that have bought them that their flowers don't last very long. I also look at the fact that they have to drive at least 80 miles round trip to the market a couple times a week. So when I look at that competition and I'm assessing that, we really try to grow some different varieties. I even look at the colors that she has and try to do something a little bit different. But the fact that we're certified organic, and we just make an effort to do things a little bit different. So I started doing, I buy cups from Goodwill or yard sales, and I call them a cup of posies. I also recycle dog food cans and call them table toppers, which are something that if it's sitting on a table, they can look across the table and not have to lean over to see around the flowers. And I've talked about this before too. We started doing more. I've always done dried bouquets, but we've expanded on the dried flowers, and what we found with doing the dried bouquets, and as of last year, we've been doing this for the dried flowers for about 5-6 years. Well, we've been doing them for longer than that, but expanding on them in the last 5-6 years. We found that people that are traveling and vacationing certainly don't want a fresh bouquet because they need water and it's hot during the summer when they're there, but they're happy to take a dried bouquet and they can put it in their car and not worry about it wilting. So that was kind of a positive change for us. For our fresh bouquets, we've had everybody say that our bouquets last a long time, and I think a part of that is by the time of day that we harvest, but we also try to get them in a cooling unit as soon as we can after the fact. And these are kind of mini bouquets that I do for $5, but I also do larger bouquets of dried flowers that are I sell them between $5 and $10, and it's something easy for them to just pick up and walk away. So talking about customer loyalty, this is kind of hard to see. It's a little dark there, but you can see I've got bunches of fresh Italian parsley, fresh peppermint, and fresh dill. And I bring bunches of herbs with me every single week to the market. And I sell very few of them. I bring them more to give them away. And I can tell you that at our farmers market, I am known to be one of the more expensive vendors there, and I even have customers that come and say, this is Green Tree Naturals, and they're the most expensive ones here, and we think they're the best. And there is that place, that perspective of quality that comes with that, but also I have them say, they're more expensive, but they give us a bunch of parsley every week, or they give me a little bouquet, or I know for myself, I like treating people the way I want to be treated as a customer, and building that loyalty is crucial for a small acreage farmer. I mentioned earlier it's about relationship building, and a part of that is you make people feel good about their experience with you. They want to support you, and giving gifts to repeat customers, I mean, it's a small thing and it's a worthwhile thing, and it makes me feel good to be able to give them something, and it makes them feel good to get it. Roses are red, violets are blue. If you don't court customers, they'll find someone new. Absolutely so. And over the years, I can say honestly, with all the years of being in restaurants, I think I've had 2 times that there was a complaint about the basil, and basil's really tricky, and no questions asked, I brought them another pound of basil right away. I've had a couple times where someone came and said, those beans I got last week were a little tough, and we just didn't do the proper gleaning when we were going through and making sure you never know if a bean's going to be tough, but you think you do. But so they say the beans were a little tough last week. Boy, I give them another bag, or I'll give them 2 bags and apologize sincerely. And they take something home for me, home to serve their friends for dinner, and it's tough. I feel terrible about that. So I want to make sure that I do the best that I can to meet their needs, and I want to make a good first impression. We had one of our longtime customers, this woman, who had been shopping with me for a couple of years at the farmers market, shows up one day, and she stopped at my booth first and went, "Oh my gosh, I forgot my wallet." And I said, "Well, what do you usually spend at market?" And she said, "Oh, 25 bucks." And I took 25 bucks out of the till and I handed it to her, and her mouth just dropped open. She said, "What?" And I said, "Well, you come here every week and you always buy from me, so there's an IOU. Pay me next week." That woman has been a loyal customer for 23 years now because of that. Well, I mean, it was more than that, but the point is an act of kindness and being happy to serve. And if you're not the type of person that is happy to work with restaurants or any of your customers, then don't be the one that's out there in the front. And it took me a long time to get my husband to come out and work with me at the farmers market. And now he likes it, but a lot of times he doesn't. And if he doesn't, then he stays in the back and stays away. And I have to admit, I've gotten myself in trouble a few times from being exhausted and going to market when I shouldn't have. And what I learned from that is, if I'm tired and burned out, I shouldn't be going, and I should just stay home and take the day off. So remember that there's a point. If you're feeling burned out, you're not going to be very responsive and positive with your customers, and it's okay to take a day off every now and then, because it's better than the being rude or crude to your customers. And God only knows I have done that, and wasn't pretty. And no amount of apologizing would make a difference, so I can't go backwards. So we're just going forwards. So building positive relationships and building on that customer loyalty. And like with my garlic braids, I only do garlic braids by special orders. I take a few to market and sell, but mostly I do them by special orders because they're pretty expensive, and most people won't come and spend $60 on a garlic braid, but that's kind of the way it goes. Offering special ways to connect with your customers. We always provide recipes. We always offer serving suggestions. I give serving or handouts for instructions on how to store certain items, and that really makes a difference. And like this woman has been a customer for probably 15 years at least, and I've ended up doing some consultations with them. And sweet purple peppers, these are just such a conversation piece at the farmers market, and we've been doing purple peppers for a number of years, and they do really well for us. This is our third generation of our own seed, and I don't have anybody, of course, if you buy in large peppers at the grocery store, they're $1 a piece at least during the summertime. So pricing is really a difficult thing to do, but I always tell people when they're asking them that one of the easy ways is just to walk through the local produce department at the grocery store or the natural food store, and I don't try to match their prices. I will always be higher than what they have there, because what I'm offering is something that was harvested within 24 hours. What they're offering is something that is probably already 5 days from the field. So what I'm offering, I can guarantee that it's going to be crisp and fresh and have a better quality than they do, so it's worth more money. So on your pricing, you need to be comfortable with how you do your pricing. And at our market, we have a guy called the Corn Man. You're talking about, Barbara was talking about buying the syrup and the people not having any contact information there as far as how she could go back and get that. Well, the Corn Man, nobody knows his name. They all call him the Corn Man. He comes and brings bushels and bushels of corn. But we were the only certified organic sweet corn at the farmers market for years. And now, of course, we have 2 other certified organic sweet corn growers, and they're selling. We had one person came in and they were selling theirs for 75 cents a piece. And we had to really look at that and think about, are we going to lower our prices, or are we going to stay $1 each? Well, we stayed our price, because when I looked at his 75 cents a piece corn, not only was it smaller, but it looked like it had been harvested and been sitting around for a little bit. It was starting to brown up, where ours was definitely sweet, and everybody that bought our corn would come back and say it was the best corn they ever had. And I mean, what more could you ask for than to have somebody come and give you that compliment? And coming up with $1 an ear, we came up with that by looking at our costs in the field, the cost it takes to go through the whole process, and we felt it was worth $1 an ear, and people keep coming back and they order it, and by golly, that's what I'm going to go for. So we've been doing the stir fry special for many years as well, and I came up with that at the point when, if you sell at the market and you're selling any squash, you know that there's a point in time where everybody has squash running out their ears or coming out their ears. So I start doing the stir fry specials, and while it takes me more time to bag them up and go through the process, I include a recipe with a couple of stir fry suggestions, serving suggestions, and it has definitely ended up being a great seller for us, and we have a lot of people come and go just for that stir fry special. They'll come running in first thing and grab 4 or 5 of them, and that'll be what they eat all week long. So as far as the pricing goes, we sell some things by the pound, but most of the things we sell by the bag or by the bunch without a per pound weight offered. And we do that for mostly because we can get more pound. I know that if I put $8 a pound out there on the snow peas, I'm probably not as likely to get it. But a handful of snow peas in a little bag like that, which is just perfect for 4 ounces of snow peas, is perfect for a stir fry. It's perfect for walking around eating whatever you want to do, and just it's a $2 bag. They take that away, but in the reality is I am weighing every one of those bags, and I know that every one of them is 4 ounces, and that equals $8 a pound. We do the same thing with our beans. I bag the beans up in 12-ounce packages and sell them for $3, which ends up being $5.30 a pound. If occasionally I will bring some 5-pound bags of beans, or I always have when bean season is on, I always have a sign out there that says if you want to order bulk beans, and I will give them a better price on bulk beans than $5.30 a pound. But with the pricing concept, I'm all about less for more. I have found through my market research and paying attention to what my customers want, and there's a mix. You certainly have the people that want to come in and get a bunch of strawberries to make strawberry jam, or a bunch of blackberries to make blackberry jam. But our target audience, a good portion of our audience here, or our customer target base, are the people traveling through and vacationing. And they can pick up a half a pint and walk around the market and eat a half a pint. Most people can't eat a whole pint. So, and over the years of having other vendors on either side of us selling their berries for less price than me, but selling them by the pint, I'd sell mine at $2.50 or $3 a half pint, and they're selling theirs for $4 a pint, and I sell out and they take theirs home. There's no reason to understand that, but it works. At least it's worked for me, and I'm good for that. Another example is lavender. We have a couple lavender growers here, and this is it always is puzzling to me that someone would buy my half-ounce bundle for $3, where these big bundles next to me are 2-ounce bundles. I mean, they're nice and big, but people want something small. Mine's wrapped in paper. They can pick it up. They can stick it in their purse, in their pocketbook. It's easy to travel with. It smells good, and they're actually paying quite a bit more per ounce doing it in the small. It's the less for more concept. I mean, when you're traveling, you buy a little tiny tube of toothpaste. It costs a lot more money.